Good Sunday morning, everybody. Welcome back to an artist's mini sketchbook tour of 2024. This is week number 30. Wow, time is flying by. It's just going way too fast for my taste. But anyways, with that said, let's get into the first spread. The main drawing for this particular spread was Thomas. He's the head instructor of my welding school, and he was gracious enough to give me 10 minutes to do his portrait. Unfortunately, I made him look like a devil because my initial positioning of this particular eye was just a bit too off. It was a bit too wide, so I had to come in, overlap the original outline of that eye, and redo it. So it came out pretty dark, and to even it out, I darkened up that one, and it just, like I said, made him look like a devil. So moving on to other people. This one right here, this particular gentleman was on the subway on the ride home that night, and what will stand out to me for this particular drawing is that how I rendered his hair. He was shaved head. It was you just sort of like saw a shadow of his hair, but how I rendered it was it was not true to what I saw. But that's what drawing is all about. You try things and they don't work, and then you move on to other things. So you're always experimenting. At least I'm trying to always experiment and figure out how to render things accurately. And this particular guy was on the subway platform, on the same bus platform that I was waiting on to wait for my final bus home. He was moving around a lot, but I kind of like how his backpack sort of jutted out from the body, his torso, and I tried getting him down there. This next particular drawing is very interesting. I was down at the Ryerson Quad in downtown Toronto, and if you know that quad, during these summer months, they have like a stretch of vendors who sell trinkets basically outside of the Balzac's Coffee, if you're familiar with that area in Toronto. So when I finished this drawing, it was of a mother, her son, and her daughter there just sort of in front of their table selling things. But when I finished it, it just seemed empty. This whole space was empty up here, and I thought, what could I put in there that would fill out that space that would, in my mind, be an appropriate subject matter? So I thought something long, something not as high. And fortunately at work, they have all this tubing lying on the ground here. And that's what I did. And right now, when I'm thinking about drawing in my sketchbook, this sketchbook, it's all about filling that spread. And that's what this drawing was all about, to fill out that empty space, regardless if it made sense or not within the whole spread. This next drawing was done on probably the hottest night during week 30. I think I was at the welding school, and they have this big, massive industrial sized fan, and I decided to park myself in front of it before class started and just try to cool down and to get in a sketch. And this is what was available to me in that particular position. It was of their sink and all the accoutrements that go with the industrial sink, the mop bucket, another mop bucket, the garbage pail behind here, another mop bucket. And I'm telling you, it was a painful night in the welding booth for that night. I was side note, just sweating right through my leather jacket, and it was not a pleasant evening, I'll say. Again, this particular spread, the idea behind the spread, again, goes back to two spreads before, just filling out space. This was done outside my welding school. This is the parking lot, the address to my welding school. And then this upper space here just seemed too empty. So that night I came home and filled it out with foliage. And I wanted the suggestion of foliage, but it turned out to be more figurative and literal. That's how my mind works. It goes towards the realistic versus a more abstract. And I really want to get towards a more abstract way of representing things, certain things at least. But this didn't work out, but it worked out in the sense that it filled out this spread with a very long sort of illustrative band of vegetation. And so this guy, Subway guy, when I saw this guy, I was like, I gotta draw him regardless if there's a seat or not near him. I just had to be in his proximity because of the way he was sleeping, his head cocked to his left and backwards a bit, his mouth a bit open. And I got him. Fortunately, there was a seat right across from him that was empty, and I really like how this drawing turned out. It was a very straightforward drawing, very easy drawing in the sense that all the lines came out really smoothly. All the facial features were in proportion and in position, correct position to each other. And I like how I suggested the hands here covered up by his jacket. Everything about this drawing was really a joy to draw. And this last drawing here was the reference photo was taken from Earth's World. I think I've mentioned that particular site several times. I'll link it in the comment section below. If you're into faces, interesting faces, go to that site, and there's just a whole bunch of interesting looking faces that you could choose from to practice drawing portraits with. And this particular gentleman was one of those faces. A first for me, trying to draw a black man in colored pen, trying to get the skin tones right. And I think I did it. I think it worked out quite well, but I'm not too sure how his white beard sort of sits. It just kind of looks like an unfinished white area right now. But like I said in a previous spread, that's the joy of sketching, drawing in your sketchbook. It doesn't have to be a perfect drawing. It's a space for you to experiment and try things out. You put something down on paper, it doesn't work, move on. Like now you know that way of doing something doesn't work, you try something else. And for me, I'm trying to get into that mindset, more into that mindset now, where every drawing on a spread doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a finished drawing. It's about experimentation. So that is it. That's my final thought, I guess, for sketchbooking right now. If you have any comments, leave it in the comment section below. Thanks for joining me this week. I hope you had a great week. I hope you will have a great week. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.